if I don't leave right now, I'm going to get stuck here. I left all my stuff in the apartment, and I just got on a plane. I flew to LA.
Hi, Jay.
How are you?
Good. We're doing this during coronavirus, so we're virtually having a drink. What do you got there?
Oh, just some Snapple.
Okay. I've got some sparkling coconut water.
Oh, there you go. That sounds trendy. Yeah, sparkling coconut water.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
This is the drink. So what we do is we talk about how you became who you are, how you got to the top. So Jay Leno, how on earth did you get where you are now?
Well, you sound like my mother. How did this happen? It's ridiculous.
You start doing this comedy thing and it sounds like you're kind of young 20s, you're in college.
Yeah, my mother had no idea. I remember my mother was from Scotland, and I heard my mother on the phone talking to her sister, my Aunt Nettie, saying, Aunt Nettie obviously said, "What is Jay doing now?" And my mother said, "Well, he has a little skit that he puts on from town to town. He does these little skits, and like I go to the town square and I dance around." You know, my mother just had no idea.
How did you end up in LA? Did you do that typical thing of like, if I'm gonna make it, I gotta go to Los Angeles?
Well, originally I went to New York, and I literally lived on the street. I used to sleep in an alley off of 44th and 9th, and that was a tough area. And I used to sleep in this alley where prostitutes would bring their customers, and I'd be sleeping, and I'd just hear the most horrible noises, and I go, "Really? This is my life now? This is awful." And I thought, well, I got to go someplace where I'm not going to freeze to death. So I literally got on a plane and I went to LA, and I said, you know, if I don't leave right now, I'm going to get stuck here. Because what happens is I had friends who wanted to be actors or singers or comedians, but they took a job as a waiter or a waitress, and then they wanted a nice car, so they got a car. Then they had to keep the job to make the payments on the car, and then they couldn't go to the audition because they had to go to work because they had to make the payments on the car. And I realized I'm just going to walk out the door. I left my car in the street. I left all my stuff in the apartment, and I just got on a plane. I flew to LA. I got off the plane. I didn't know where I was going, and I went to the Comedy Store, and I went and introduced myself, and they did not seem impressed. And I slept on the back stairs of the Comedy Store for about maybe 12 days, something like that.
Come on, no, wait. Seriously, you did this?
Oh yeah, you know what I used to do, which was actually pretty cool? I used to go to open houses. I'd go get the Sunday paper and it'd say, "Open house Sunday from noon to 4." So I would get there at like 3:30. Oh, it's a lovely house. I'd see you later. And then I would go in the closet and I'd shut the door. And when the realtor locked up, I would live in the house for a day or two. And I did that a bunch of times. It was always nice in California, so it wasn't like freezing to death in New York City.
Yeah, no, I get it. But some of this is hard to believe, Jay.
Why is that?
I don't know. It just, people see you in a certain way, right? We see you as 2 decades of the Tonight Show. We don't think
Well, yeah, but there were 2 decades. There were 2 decades before the Tonight Show. And no, those are the defining ones.
Can I do just some quick rapid fire questions? Is that cool? Your favorite car?
I don't have. I wouldn't have all these cars if I had a favorite car. You have cars for sentimental reasons. I mean, I have my '55 Buick. When I came to Hollywood, I had $400 at one point, and I got the penny saver and I bought a '55 Buick. And I met my wife in that car, and we dated in that car. I took the car to my first Tonight Show. I drove it to my last Tonight Show. It's not my favorite in the sense that it's fast or it's fun to drive or sporty. It just has a lot of meaning.
Biggest obstacle you ever faced?
Oh gosh, what would be the biggest obstacle?
I could guess.
What is your guess?
Well, there's so much written about sort of what happened when you left the Tonight Show for a while, and then you came back. I mean, when they basically told you were going to retire. I don't know.
Oh no, that's all showbiz. My biggest obstacle was probably being somewhat dyslexic and not being able to spell. and do math and a bunch of those. So that would probably be it. Yeah.
Some young aspiring comedian calls you and wants advice. What do you say?
Anybody can have a life. Careers are hard to come by. And, the idea is, don't give me any excuses. There's always going to be somebody there. There's always going to be somebody in your way. So do what you have to do to get the job done. Never explain, never complain. Just do the job.
It seems like cars and tinkering on cars has been a stream through your whole life, right? I mean, you've been doing that.
Well, I'm in a business that's very subjective. Some people think you're funny. Some people think you suck. And they're both correct. But if you don't make someone laugh, then obviously to them, you're not a comedian. Other people go, oh, I think that's so funny. Okay. But when something's broken and you fix it, and you take an engine that has not run in 100 years and you get it running, no one can say it's not running. I'm one of those people that I guess the heart is healthiest when the head and the hands work together. I mean, I work with my hands during the day, and you realize taking a transmission out to work on a car, this is hard. And then you go on stage and you talk, and people give you vast amounts of money. You go, it makes you appreciate that.
Jay Leno's Garage. It's back again on CNBC. I know you've got a big season. You must love this.
I do.
You could have retired, Jay, and just kind of, lived on the beach or something.
Yeah, that's what I do. Live on the beach. Yeah, that sounds great. Seinfeld and I have this discussion all the time. We said, what if we took a vacation and we liked it? Then we'd be screwed. And it's really true. I mean, I think the essence of being a comedian is not actually fitting in anywhere. It's observing, That's what was great about The Tonight Show. It's the perfect job for me, because I could be in show business without really being in it. I didn't have to hang out and I got to observe it.
This has been fun.
Hey, thanks.
I wish it were here, but we'll do this. Cheers.